So hello and welcome to this course, which is going to be a short course on ISO 14971, applied medical device risk management. And what this course is going to try and do is teach you what is ISO 14971, which is the international standard for medical device risk management, and how exactly do we apply it during the design and development of medical devices. And it is, of course, brought to you by Innovate Academy. So we're going to get just straight into it. And in front of you, you might see the table of contents of how we'll go through this course. The course is split into 3 sections. So if you wish, you can pause the video and take a closer look at that. But I'm just going to skip over it to keep us moving. We begin, of course, here with section number 1. And section 1 is an introduction section. And the first thing that we're going to discuss is how exactly do we make the most out of this course. The content in this course is broken up into 4 different types. So there's this set of course notes that you can download from the additional resources. There's of course the video content, which is the bulk of it, like this video you're watching here. The videos are intertwined with short exam questions, and then there will be one additional downloadable file, and that will be the risk management standard of operating procedure, just SOP for short. Now, quick note for the people watching on YouTube, you won't actually have access to the downloadable resources, nor will you have access to the short exams. And if you wish to get access to those, please check the link in the description below to get access to the full course that will have those extra bits and pieces. Now, this set of course notes you might have noticed is partially filled in, and so too is the PDF, the downloadable version. And what we ask is that you please print these notes and you fill them in as we go. So as we go through them, I will fill them in with pen, and on the odd occasion, I'll use marker for emphasis. And what you'll find by doing that is that you'll remember a lot more, because remember, this is not an entertainment video, this is an educational video. Now, if you don't have a printer or you just don't feel like printing off the notes because it's too much effort, feel free to just grab a notepad, and most of the examples you can just easily sketch as well. We'll write out some definitions, because to understand risk management, understanding the key definitions associated with risk management is very important. So some definitions we'll write out, and you'll have a much better time understanding those definitions if you write them out in the notes. The other thing that we'll quickly discuss here is defined terms. So defined terms are used throughout this course. Understanding these terms is key to risk management. I can't emphasize that enough. The reason defined terms get used is because often we end up narrowing the scope of words that we use just to normal English, and this is very much necessary to understand and be able to apply the principles of risk management. What we do throughout this set of course notes is any defined terms, such as risk management, we stylize in a small capital font so that you can distinguish them more easily from words that are not defined terms. So when you see this in small capital, that means it's a defined term. Most of the time, the defined terms, I'll put them in a blue box where you can see their actual definition. I'll also put the source of where they come from. So we can see this one here. Risk management is the systematic application of management policies, procedures, and practices to the tasks of analyzing, evaluating, and controlling and monitoring risks. And that, of course, is a definition that comes straight from the standard itself. And of course, if a word is used that is not stylized in this way in small capital, then it will assume its normal English meaning. So let's take another closer look again at this definition here, risk management. So there's a good bit going on in that definition. How risk management is defined is it's a systematic application of these procedures and practices. The best way that I think there is to kind of think of that is that you as a company, as an organization, should first set out at establishing a document that's going to be your risk management SOP. In that, you're going to outline the basically step-by-step procedure and processes that you carry out as an organization to conduct risk management. And then, of course, a company is always going to be built of individuals in different roles. And you're going to have managers, and you're going to have engineers, and you're going to have developers, and you're going to have quality assurance and regulatory affairs and operations. And so when we think of our systematic application of the management procedures and practices, we need to first document exactly how individuals are meant to perform these. And then, of course, they intertwine with the actual people. And we kind of think of these two things together as our system. Of course, then we apply risk management on the actual design and development of products that we produce. So we produce some sort of product that, of course, will be produced. Project managers will plan it. Engineers and developers will design it. Other staff will be tasked with the post-market related stuff. And during the design and development, throughout its life cycle, people follow the procedure and incorporate it into the different activities involved in its design. And one of the key ones in that in design development, and design development encompasses the entire life cycle of the device, conception to design to monitoring risk. That's why this word is used here, monitoring risk later in design. And the kind of core and central part of this is that we look at the products that we are building, both in design development and in post market, and we identify risks. Well, not only do we identify risks, identifying risks is step one, let's say, but we also evaluate risks because not all risks are made equal, and some risks are much smaller than others, and some are much more serious in terms of the harms they can inflict on people or the environment in which the device is used. So we identify risks, we evaluate them, then we control risks. And the way that the word control is often used in the context of risk management, it's similar to mitigate. It's things you do to reduce risks or mitigate risks. So that's what's meant by control. Eventually, once the product is made and in the field, we'll go on to monitor risks. Why do we do this? Of course, you may wonder, why should I apply risk management? Well, A, it's a regulatory requirement, but B, the more stronger reason is that we apply risk management throughout design and development, essentially to make safer devices. Real emphasis there on the word safe. Safety, when it comes to ISO 14971, is defined as freedom from unacceptable risk. We apply risk management to identify risks and then mitigate them. And the result of that is that we should, as a result, have safer devices. The other big output of risk management and a risk management procedure is that throughout the entire life cycle, many documents, control documents, and records are produced by individuals, and there'll be many different documents produced, and there'll just be many documents. Almost every document is going to, in fact, be influenced in some way by risk management. But the core documents in the risk management are the risk management plan, and the other big one is the risk management report. Those will all also go into your risk management file. So that's the other big element of this, of producing the documents, and the documents then will act as evidence that we have implemented procedures and, of course, met regulatory requirements. Okay, so I think that concludes this first lesson. I will see you in the next.